that all the snacks has been sorted out and everything, I am so ready to get into the talks about where I've been, what has been going on, and tell you a little bit more about what has been bothering me, I guess, and things that I really needed to sit down and think about. There's actually a lot to unpack, quite a few things that has been going on lately surrounding me, surrounding my life in general. And one of the very first things is, why haven't I been posting? Honestly, I didn't mean to take such a long break. It just kind of happened. At first, it was very much the situation of me self-sabotaging myself, but it came from a place of mourning a loved one, because if this is gonna be too sensitive for you guys, I will highly recommend to skip this part, and I'll just add the time that you can skip to. But I mourned my dad again, because my dad's death anniversary came up, and somehow part of that kind of crippled me a little bit, for me not to be able to do anything, honestly. And at that time, I wasn't doing much mentally. I was struggling a little bit as well, and honestly, I needed to allow myself to sit in it once again, even though it was extremely hard for me to do that, to actually sit down and allow myself to cry for days on end. And there was the time where I spent a lot of time with myself. I visit the graveyard a few times without my mother being aware of that, or anyone else actually. And it got to the point where I started feeling better. And just when I started feeling better, that was the exact same time where I started applying for jobs, because I'd made the choice and the decision to go back into a 9 to 5, even though performing and arts is my first love. I needed to be realistic with myself in that moment, because I knew mentally just being at home was not good for me at the time. And I have been unemployed for a very long time, so that has also bothered me. So I decided, wow, it's time to find something. Something came up that I have been passionate about, aside from performing, which is helping with in a technical way for theaters. So I got an opportunity to apply for that. I was blessed enough to get a call back to do the interview, and that's where I'm currently working right now. I always struggle with the mask. So that whole process of finding my rhythm, finding how do I incorporate and make time for my content and everything as well, I just immediately felt overwhelmed of every single part of it, which then made me stagnant, made me not move at all in what I can do for my creativity, what I can do for the content that I want to create. Instead of just picking up my phone, which also gave me problems, because I have a slightly new phone and the camera quality is completely different from my old phone. It has like an orange cast that it gives off on the back camera, and the front camera is, yeah, it just didn't look right to me. And I tried my best in a few of the videos. I just edited the color to be different, but honestly, I just allowed a lot of things to cripple me in that moment, and I just focused on my 9 to 5. Pardon me. And at that time, it was quite perfect for me to focus in on 9 to 5, just find my feet in it. It actually is about to be 3 months that I have been working there, and I'm still waiting on the verdict if I have passed this period of them seeing if I will be working there for longer. And that added so much pressure to me, but it's a type of pressure that I've always liked, a positive pressure. And I just honestly mentally started feeling better because I became productive. I had things to do. I felt like I had a purpose once again, and that was one thing that I've a little bit lost sight of in the past year or so that I have been unemployed and kind of not seeing any improvements in my content creation. And that is absolutely my own fault for not putting the work in, of course, or more work in, or working smarter, all of that. And this thing is actually bothering my mouth. This is funny that I'm putting a face mask on, looking quite silly, talking such serious things, but I hope you get where I'm coming from with all of that. Through that whole process, I have been recording videos, short form or long form videos. I'm sure you'll see some of that be posted. I don't know if I'm gonna be posting the long form content because I feel quite different from that woman that recorded all that content. I feel that I have grown a lot in these 3 months and 4 months, and honestly, I want to start over in a way that there's no pressure of me having to batch edit all those videos. I'm just gonna start from the beginning again with my new camera and just see where that basically takes me, because just thinking about sitting down to edit all those long form videos, even the podcast ideas that I have and had, I don't know. I just want to start from the beginning and allow myself to be okay with getting back into it slowly but surely, doing what is needed for me to do right now, and hopefully being able to be vulnerable. The parts that I'm sharing kind of aligns with some of you guys, and for you to also maybe hopefully realize or get the hope that you can literally start over at any time, even if you're starting over for the millionth time this year. You are great and you are wonderful for even thinking about starting over again. Every time you are wonderful. I don't know how else to say it, because even just by you taking that step of saying to yourself, I'm starting over again, doesn't matter how many times I'm going to do this, I am going to succeed in whatever way I want to, whatever way I can. And maybe I don't align with who I was in the beginning of the year, but I align with this right now. And being brave enough to say that to yourself, being brave enough to shift and be like, okay, this is working for me right now. This makes me happy. This is guiding me. And if you're not saying it to yourself, you should say that you are very proud of yourself. I am proud of myself for even picking up the camera today. I don't know how this video is turning out, but I am proud for pressing record. I am proud for cleaning up my room, even just a little bit of things that I did today. I'm proud for putting a face mask on, making myself a chamomile tea, because those things shows me that I care about me. Those things fill my cup in ways that I needed to fill my cup, because as I said, I haven't been doing that for the longest. I had to relearn that. I had to teach myself again what is important to me, what little joys make me happy. Should I restart again? How many times am I going to restart? And it doesn't matter. It honestly doesn't matter, because every time you restart, you're restarting with the knowledge of what you have done before. So it's not actually the beginning, it's just a process. And I like that. I think I saw this on Pinterest. It said something along the lines of, don't look at your mistakes as mistakes, look at it as research and analyze them and move on. And I was like, wow, okay, that's literally what I'm doing. That's literally what I've been doing, starting over and over and over and over again, because now I know what doesn't work. Now I know what I shouldn't allow myself to be stopped by or trapped by. Now I know how to navigate when I'm having a hard day or a tough day or a day like this where I'm not feeling well at all, but I'm moving at my pace, no one else's pace, but I'm clearly moving. And yeah, that's why work has been hard but wonderful. I have been working a lot on trying to balance my masculine feelings with my feminine feelings, because my work is very hard, but not hard in the sense that I don't love it. It's a space where I have to exist in my masculinity. Like, the bigger part of what I show up in a day is my masculinity, because of my work. And yes, I love my work, but I also needed to figure out, when I step away from my work, how do I feed my femininity? How do I still feel and react in a way that is still the other part of me, which is the softer side, which is the more nurturing, which is the one that literally need to look in the mirror and say, like, I'm so pretty, I'm so gorgeous, I'm everything that I need to be today, doesn't matter what. And that has been a little bit of a process of finding her as well, of feeding that side of myself for there to be a balance. And I am struggling a little bit with balancing it to the fullest, but it's getting there. Slowly but surely getting where it needs to go. And besides from that, I went on a work trip. During my work trip, I discovered a lot about myself, because firstly, it was one of the first times that I traveled and basically lived or was by myself with only my colleagues. It was quite different to kind of have that much independence, because clearly I am of age where I am capable and able of taking care of myself, but I haven't really been looking at myself in that way. And that trip just made me realize that, wow, I actually can do this. I am more, not just mature, but independent. I'm not as dependent on others as I do believe. And that was nice to experience. That was nice to see for myself. There's literally proof that I am capable of being in a space where I have to take care of myself, no one to really run to. And I know I got the easier end of it in that example. But what I mean was, it was a start of opening up the mindset or the possibility of something that I have thought my whole entire life, that I am very independent. I would get to the point where I can live by myself if I wanted to. And that feeling was wonderful. That experience was wonderful. Being there during the shows and everything, the experience was different, and it had its ups and downs, because obviously it's work and you have to be focused in work. And having that experience has given me so much more confidence, so much more freedom to see things in the way that I wish to see them, because I am allowed to see things the way I want to see them. I am allowed to speak up for the things I want to speak up about, because it's mine. Like, it's my thoughts, my opinions. And a lot of mental blockages was just debunked, and the new thoughts of growth has appeared, and I can't wait to see where that is going to lead me. But for the rest of the night, I am just gonna sit with my face mask after I remove this. I'll probably do one other thing, and then my hair feels great after that little refresh I did right now. And my little oil mixture that I just added to my hair is just my argan oil and my amla oil mixture, all up in my scalp, because I'm going to wash my hair tomorrow, but I just needed that refresher, almost like a pre-poo, but not for all of my hair, just for my scalp. And that is all the life updates I can give you guys right now. And if there are questions that you have of things that I didn't answer, you can leave that in the comments. I will answer as soon as I see it, and I will answer as best as I possibly can. I know I look silly right now with this mask, but I do hope the things that I have shared has been clear, has been easy for you guys to focus and hear and listen to. But other than that, I am going to say goodbye, and I hope to see you guys in the next video.